Welcome to Life Gloss, a beauty podcast for sassy and seasoned women who have lived life and have a drawer full of lip gloss to prove it. Hey, Hill,
Susan.
brush off. No, I'm just kidding. What, when you think about brushes, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about brushes that you love, brushes that you no longer use? I went to my vanity today and grabbed all my brushes. And I thought to myself, I feel like I have a lot of brushes, but there's only out of this whole Potto brush, there's only a certain amount that I use. So I wanted to come on here with you and be honest with all of our listeners and kind of think about what are the three that you grab every day and you use the most? Because I don't think anyone's using every brush in the pot, every tool in the chest, shall we say. But I do think there's at least three brushes that we use every day.
Yes, definitely. We've both been in the industry long enough that I have Tupperware buckets of brushes that go back 25 years. I mean, I still have Blue Squirrel natural hair brushes. Remember when they used to tell us, oh, we're totally cruelty free. We just brush the squirrels. And we're like,
We take the squirrels to a day spa and give
yeah,
them a little bit of caviar and bellinis and
yeah.
cut their hair and oh my God. And we
And we
like,
shear the goats and the
yeah,
horses and
they live on a farm and
they're very happy.
yeah, no people, no, no. This
Yeah.
is this is murder in a brush. But
Yeah.
yes. Um yeah, it's changed though. I'm sitting here looking at my Potto brushes and I have ones like you do from Makeup Forever back in the day.
Mhm.
And a little bit of a history lesson for some of our listeners as professionals, we know the brushes that I use for professional use are sometimes different than the ones I use for myself. It depends
Right.
on what we're doing, what we want, what the look you want to achieve. But it is funny how you bring up like, the blue squirrels of the day and the real hair versus synthetic. And so much has changed. But the one that hasn't changed is, quality brushes make the difference. You can have the
Oh,
worst, cheapest makeup in the world, but if you have good quality brushes, you can make
yeah.
anything look great. I mean, that is the honest truth. I do
Yes.
think, though, that so much has changed. Back in the day, I would only use real hair. They
Oh,
had to be
yeah.
wooden, and it's changed. Now we're seeing these gorgeous synthetics that are absolutely beautiful that work, quite frankly, 1,000 times better with cream-based and liquid-based products than real hair does.
Yeah. Do you remember the first Talcon brushes? They were like,
Yeah, yeah,
whew, they were
yeah.
terrible.
It
And
was
then
like it
they
was almost like
started,
yeah, it was like fishing wire.
yeah. And then they started like giving them split ends to give them a little more make them more porous. It was
Yes.
terrible for a long time, but now
Terrible.
they're laser cut. We have new materials. They're great.
Yeah. I know my brushes that are in my kit and I still have them. I should grab my brush roll and show it, but
Maybe we'll do our pro kits one
yeah,
day.
we should do our pro ones another day. But I know some of my favorite ones are from Shuumura.
Of course.
Um,
Oh, my car was broken into and a whole set of Schumacher brushes was stolen
oh
in
my God.
2003.
Those brushes are irreplaceable.
No, when I tried to file the insurance claim, they thought
Uh,
that I was committing insurance fraud when I was
God.
listed the price of the brushes. Literally, they tried to like come at me for committing insurance fraud, and I was like, go check.
It's
Like,
so true though. I mean, the Japanese really know how to make brushes.
hmm.
Um, but my Shuumoras, my Makeup Forevers, Trish McAvoy
Oh, I
in the
still have the
day,
lucite handled Trish McAvoy's. Beautiful.
honestly, made some of the best brushes out there. MAC also, when they first started,
Great
they were
brushes.
making their brushes in different countries, and
Mhm.
their brushes were exceptional. Um, I have vintage Chanel brushes here that
Oh,
are
me too. I love them. I still love to use them.
unbelievable. Yeah. But then I brought some new guys into the
Well,
fold.
we have to because we can't. we can't make everybody upset about us talking about things that we have that they can't get. So,
Yeah. And I think we want to talk about the three brushes that we each use every day. And these are brushes that our listeners can purchase. We're not going to sit here
yes,
and talk about yesteryear and, oh, this is the best brush ever, and you can't have it and you can't get it. That's not
right.
fun.
That's
So
not fun.
yeah, that's not fun. Um,
No.
and we can all use a little joy in our life right now. So let's talk about the brushes that we use every day and that we really, or companies that we think are doing an exceptional job. Uh,
Yes.
I'm going to start with probably what I think are the most affordable, most reasonable, and best brushes for your bang a buck right now. And that's BK Beauty. I mean,
Okay.
I know everybody loves them, everybody talks about them, but honestly, if you're not even someone that's great at doing makeup or you're new to this world of makeup, these are the easiest consumer friendly brushes that you can use. I really applaud her for making a brand that professionals can use and do use and are proud to use and they're exceptional, but that the general human being out there that is not a professional, that doesn't know much about brushes, can use these brushes and get quality product at a great price and quality payoff. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
they're great. They're
Yeah. Those
exceptional.
ones are good. You know, the other ones that are really good for the price, if you go to Namies, like
Oh,
namies.com, they
mm.
have the Bedelium,
Yes.
Bedelium, the
Yes.
Bedelium.
They're yellow. Yellow
Brilliant
handle.
brushes, great price.
Yes.
Like a slanted faux goat that we love for the cheek, 22 bucks.
That's
They're
great.
incredible. Namies is a
Yeah.
pro makeup store, but all of us can shop there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Civilians can shop there too.
I really do like these brushes. I think of the BK, the one that I grab the most,
Yeah.
um, every day. Just if I'm wearing any foundation or if I want to wear a little makeup or just a little bronzer, I love the 101. It's easy, it's great, it does the freaking job. It's spectacular. I also really do like the others too. I'm loving the uniqueness of the 112. I think you and I talked about
Oh,
this before.
yes. Oh,
Just
yes.
because if you have a small face,
Mhm.
or you just want to do blush in a very specific area or highlight or even shadow or even a little bit of shading, the 112 is really good too. I mean, I like them all. I like them all, but I tend to grab every day, even my tinted moisturizer,
Oh,
even my
yeah.
sunscreen, I'll just put on with the 101. And I like it because it feels good. It's a little slant. She's got a nice, real, she does not scrimp on the
Yes.
amount of hair that goes into this brush.
That's
So
important.
we like the BK and we like the 101.
Love them. I love those as well.
Yeah. We also love another brand that's I think even less expensive, maybe. That's a Sigma.
Ah, oh,
Sigma
yeah.
brushes. You can get them on Amazon if you're looking for them. I love this F79 because for me, I don't often wear foundation all over, as you know. So if I'm just doing my concealer, or if I'm just doing little areas, or if I want to shade, or if you want to put a little powder on, this little guy does concealer, foundation, bronzer, powder, blush. If there was one brush to do your whole face, I would say it's this one.
I agree. I definitely would call on that one too. I'm naming, three different tools because you're naming those ones. But if I were to weigh in, if we were to duplicate anywhere, we'd probably duplicate that one. I love that one.
Yeah, the F79 is just good.
Yep.
Like if you're gonna own one brush to do all your makeup with, the Sigma F79 sold. Boom. You
Yep.
can do it all. And then do your
We'll put it
eyeshadows.
in our Amazon shop.
Yeah, let's put it in the Amazon shop so people
I'll put
can
it in
find it.
there. So it's easy for
Um,
people.
and then the third one that I kind of grab if I'm doing anything with my eye area, um, I will grab the Chanel. Um, Now, this one is a few years old. It's the number
Mm-hmm.
three pencil brush, and I can use it for a smoky eye. I can use it to shade. I can use it for contour. I can use it for concealer. I can use it to spot. I can really do anything on the face and eyes with this pencil brush, it's called. Pencil brush, for those that don't know, is a brush that's fluffy but goes into a nice little tip so you can get that detail work done that you want to. Um, and I love this for face and eyes. So that's
So
it
good.
because I really don't do much on the eyes. And if I
Well,
do,
and they're all multi-purpose. I think
yeah,
that's the biggest message to our audience is it lovely to have a full brush set? Yes, but when you get a brush set, do you ever use every brush in it? No, it's kind of like a palette. So build your own. If you haven't ever had a full brush set and you're treating yourself, go ahead. Don't let us talk you out of it. But at the end of the day, you don't need a whole brush set. You don't need all those brushes. Every TikTok, every YouTube, everything, everybody that's telling you that you need two fistfuls full of brushes, guaranteed you don't. Trust us, we're old. We've been around the block, we know. So we're going to
I,
save you some time and money here.
I use three
I use
out of
three
my
too.
pot
You want
of
to see my three?
my Potto brushes. I use three.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
So,
I know. I know.
what are
So
yours?
I'll show you my three.
Show
Um,
me.
I wanted to get fancy and show you
Mm,
my little tiny fan brush, but
mm.
who knows where that thing is run off to. Goes to show you I don't wear it every day, so I figured it doesn't need to be here. But the little tiny baby fan brush for getting into your lashes is really lovely, especially as
Yeah,
you start to get older and you don't want to get mascara everywhere.
right.
But it also gets that water line. I just love that little fan brush.
Yeah, I like the
Um,
fan brush too.
but it goes to
I'm
show
a
you how
fan.
often. Hmm?
I'm
You're
a
a fan.
fan.
Just goes to show how often I'm getting all dolled up.
Yeah.
Uh, one of my favorite, it's a cross between like a pencil brush and the Sigma F79 because I like this one because it's hardier and it's bigger. So I actually have a couple of these, but I also will always just have a wipe on the side. So I'll start, I'll do like, I can go in and do like an eye, I can do a smoky eye, shadow, whatever, wipe it off. And then I can come in, it fits right in here for my concealer. It goes around my nose because like you, I don't wear a lot of foundation every day. So this one I can spot check and like flirt and feather where I
Whose
need
is
it.
that? Whose
This
is
is this is by Crown Brushes, another like pro, but it's the Crown C456.
Okay, I need that.
You do need this.
I need that.
And I would suggest getting two or three because you'll just so you don't have to wipe it off. You I use it for everything.
I
So,
love that.
and it's
Yeah.
great because
That's like the Sigma, but it's tighter.
it's tighter and a little smaller. So it gets into all the little nooks and crannies without getting messy. But if you
Yeah.
need to, you can get it to articulate a larger area too. So
I
that's
like
one.
I like that.
The next one is it's called a YB3 and it's by Youngblood. And this one I use for everything. It's got like this little domed, it feels like a little teddy
Mm.
bear, like a little kitten's paw.
Yes.
And I will use this, like I'll dot on my Maxine's Revenge and then I
Mhm.
can go in and move it around. Now, you can even, because it's firm enough, you can turn it on its side. You can get a little contour action with it.
Yes, yes.
So you can do, you, it's just, and it just really buffs
I
powder,
could see
liquid.
that being really good with the Maxine's Revenge because that's a
Mm-hmm.
serum concealer, so that would blend
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
nice.
And it doesn't absorb too much, but it moves it around and really pushes it into the skin. I'm gonna see if I can send you one of these.
Yeah, I like that.
You're gonna love it. Yes, Susan and I do send each other little care packages all the time. We have for decades, right?
Yeah, we've always sharing is caring.
That's right. And
You're
then the
not a
other thing,
friend if you're not a friend if you don't want your friend to look as good as you.
yeah. And if you
Boom.
get something great, you have to tell them. So here's
Yes.
the other thing. This might make people giggle, but this little thing I absolutely love. So this is like a beauty blender. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, she probably invented these because they had like wonky beauty blenders and like somehow something got sliced up in production and she was like, wait a minute, I can use this. Like, I don't know that for a fact. I'm just guessing. My manufacturing brain is like, how did this come to be? But
Yeah.
it's like a beauty blender, super thin. So now that I'm a little older, I like, a more hydrating foundation, but sometimes it's a little too dewy, but I don't want to pack powder on top of it because then it's going to be a lot. So I'll
Right.
put on, a glowy, really hydrating foundation or a tinted moisturizer or an SPF. And then I'll just come in, I'll let it sit for a minute. So I'm not lifting it off the skin. And then
Right.
I'll just come in and I'll blot it, and it just
Ooh.
gives me like a diffused, like powdered look without the powder. And then if I want to powder, I can go in and it won't grab so much. So it just lifts any additional moisture off the skin
Nice.
without disturbing the makeup. So those are
Oh,
my three. And I can
okay.
use it here if I'm
Yeah.
doing a crazy eye. I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want. And it's one of those things that I love to touch up. I don't ever just touch up with powder. I'll first go in and do this because sometimes you can move the things around on your face. And if you just lift a little or just zhuzh a little, you're in good shape. So
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
love it. Yeah. I think those are
Simple,
perfect.
simple.
Yeah, I think that's what we want everybody to understand about brushes. We can do another episode where we get a lot more in depth if everybody
If
wants
you
that.
want us to.
We can go through even more specific uses if you want us to break down the eyes, or even the lips, because I do love a good lip brush when I have time.
Ooh, yeah.
But, I think generally speaking, most people can do an entire face with three brushes. Like you really don't need a lot more than that. And it's just nice to know that there's so many choices out there and so many different price points. We used to spend, I mean, I would think nothing of spending $200 on one brush. And it was
Oh,
so
yeah.
hard to get a hold of them and they weren't available and they were so expensive. And now, with so many of these brands that are out there, um,
And they were hand ferruled. They were
oh
handmade.
yeah, they're hand ferruled, and I mean, and there is an art. And believe me, I love those brushes. I still love those brushes. There's an art to those brushes. Um, and I have complete respect for the brushes that are made by hands, and I'm proud to own some. But just for everyday knocking around, I don't think you can really go wrong with some of the brushes that we've mentioned today. They're easy to get, easy to order. A lot of them have sales, uh,
Hmm.
which is terrific. But please, if the one thing I can say, if you're someone who just plays around with makeup or just wants to wear a makeup look every day, don't go out and be spending all this money on these huge sets of brushes.
Right.
You're not going to use all of them.
Invest in a few good ones.
Exactly.
We're not
Take
saying go out and get cheap brushes because you don't want to spend
no,
$200.
no.
Go spend a little more
Yeah.
on just two or three.
Exactly. And these also make great holiday gifts if you're
Mhm.
looking, for yourself or for your friends. Because I think it's sort of an unexpected thing to give someone a brush,
Yeah.
just, I
And
don't
if you
know.
guys have questions about like which is the best eyeliner angled brush or which is the best eyeshadow brush, we
Yeah,
can dive into that more with you. And we can do like an eye tech or something like that. Because we
absolutely.
have them, but what do we use every single day? I'm using my hands for my eyes and
Oh,
this brush all the time for eyes.
you know, your best tool in makeup is your fingers, hands down. Not on other people if they're not clean, but on yourself. Your hands and your fingers are your best tool for the most natural makeup. But when in doubt, it's good to know three brushes, quick and easy, great brands, easily accessible. Just go for it. If you need
Yeah,
help picking a brush, reach out to us on Instagram, reach out to us on TikTok, send us a message. We will help you if you need help in deciding
of
on
course we will.
brushes or finding something for your face because different faces, different sizes. That is the one thing I will say about, BK Beauty. What they did was she did make different sizes. Some people don't need as big a brush for their face. She made mini versions of everything. Very smart, very smart.
Very smart.
Um,
Hmm.
maybe we should have her on the podcast because I really think,
I know.
what she's been doing with the brushes, making professional tools accessible to the masses.
Hmm.
My hat's off to her because I think she really nailed it and did a great job, you know.
I
But if
agree.
anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We are here to help you, but please don't feel you have to spend thousands of dollars on makeup brushes. You
No,
don't.
no,
You
you don't. That's just a lot of, that's a lot of temptation and a lot of marketing. And it's a lot of the psychology of, oh, you're only living a luxury life if you have all of these luxury brushes. That's just not the case. I mean, come on, so many of us can go to the art supply store and you can buy great brushes there. But
you know,
speaking, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that's so funny you said that, Hill, because I still have a couple of brushes in my pro roll. I used to back in the day in the 80s when I was studying makeup, and I was in college, we had to go buy makeup brushes. And back then, there really were not any professional makeup brushes for sale. Okay. Like it was really hard to find them or get them. And we all went to the art supply store and bought a lot of our makeup brushes from the art supply store. And I still have a few in my roll that I use that I love, that the hair is so incredible. A couple of them are handmade. Just wonderful, wonderful brushes. And that's how we used to get our brushes, the art supply store.
That's how we
So,
used to do it.
you
But
know,
speaking of the psychology, we are going to do our next episode with Dr. Ann Beatty, and we're going to be talking about the psychology of beauty. You guys
I
do not want to miss this. If you don't already follow or subscribe, follow and subscribe so you get notifications of when we go live. She's on for our 1 year anniversary. We have been with you for an entire year.
know she's our
So,
anniversary gift to everyone. We're sharing
yes.
Dr. Ann Beatty, and the psychology of beauty and her thoughts on beauty and what it all means, how we think about beauty, how we think about ourselves. It was such a great episode to record. It was so much fun. It was so informative. And on birthdays, you often get gifts, but we really felt that it was important to give a gift to all of our listeners, to thank everybody for tuning in, for listening to us on Life Gloss, for being so supportive. We appreciate it. And just share the love. It's our gift to you. Dr. Ann Beatty is our gift to you. And pass it along. Share the gift of our podcast to others, because that's really what it's all about. Sharing
Yes, please
beauty.
do. You can follow us on at Life Gloss Podcast, which is on all social. So it's Life Gloss Podcast. And then you can stream us and you can also watch us if you want to see our faces and you're just hearing us. We have turned the cameras on.
I
For good
know.
or bad. Sometimes we get us all gussied up and sometimes my head's in a towel. You never
I
know.
still don't know how I feel about the cameras on thing, but it is a beauty podcast, so I guess people want to know what we're up to, but we are going to get
We can
more.
show things now.
Yeah, we can show things, and we're probably going to get more into actually demonstrating some things
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, and
We
show
definitely will.
everybody what it's about, because it really is a visual world too, isn't it? The world of beauty. So
100%.
100%. Well, stay
Well,
glossy, Hill.
stay glossy, Susan. I'm going to see you, and we're going to talk the psychology of beauty next.
Can't
Stay
wait.
glossy, friends.
Stay glossy.